The crystalline spires of Nova Centralis pierced the violet sky like frozen lightning, their surfaces reflecting the light of 3 suns. Within the grand chamber of the Galactic Assembly, Ambassador James Harrison stood alone before the Council of 13, his weathered face illuminated by the hovering holograms that displayed humanity's alleged crimes. "The evidence is irrefutable," declared High Minister Zach Stull, their iridescent scales rippling with barely contained fury. "Humanity has consistently violated Assembly protocols regarding restricted technologies, territorial expansion, and interference with developing civilizations." Harrison's jaw tightened. After 15 years as Earth's representative, he knew a coordinated attack when he saw one. The charges were technically true but stripped of all context. Humanity's innovations in AI had saved billions during the Nexus Plague, their expansion had been into abandoned systems, and their interference had prevented genocide on 3 worlds. "Your species was given multiple warnings," continued Counselor Venare, her crystalline form pulsing with cold light. "Yet you persisted in destabilizing the carefully maintained order of our civilization. An order that benefits only the established powers," Harrison responded, his voice steady despite the tension coursing through him. "While countless species struggle on the margins. Enough." Zach Stull's tentacles writhed. "The Assembly has reached its decision. All human worlds are hereby placed under complete embargo. Your colonies will be isolated, your trade routes severed, your diplomatic status revoked." The chamber erupted in murmurs of approval. Harrison scanned the gathered representatives, noting which species seemed pleased by humanity's downfall and which appeared uncomfortable with the proceedings. Information that would prove valuable in the days to come. Back on the flagship Terran Dawn, Harrison moved quickly through the corridors, his security detail struggling to keep pace. He burst onto the bridge where Admiral Victoria Torres waited, her dark eyes fixed on the tactical display. "They did it?" she asked, though his expression had already confirmed her fears. "Complete exile," Harrison replied, activating his neural link to share the full details. "We have 72 hours before the sanctions take effect." Torres cursed softly. "The outer colonies won't survive without their supply lines. New Eden alone has 30 million people dependent on imported food and medicine." "Which is exactly what they're counting on," Harrison said. "They expect us to come crawling back, accepting whatever terms they dictate." He smiled grimly. "Instead, we're implementing Protocol Omega." Torres's eyes widened. "Sir, that's extremely risky. The quantum fold technology is still experimental. If something goes wrong. We don't have a choice," Harrison cut in. "Conventional shipping can't break their blockade. But if Dr. Patel's theories are correct, we can create stable microscopic wormholes, completely undetectable to current assembly scanning technology." He turned to the communications officer. "Send the coded signal to all human worlds. Tell them to activate their emergency reserves and prepare for short-term isolation. Then contact our friends in the fringe. It's time to call in some favors." As the Terran Dawn accelerated away from Nova Centralis, Harrison watched the gleaming city recede through the observation dome. The Assembly believed they were sentencing humanity to a slow death. Instead, they had just freed humanity from the last restraints holding back their true potential. In his quarters later, Harrison reviewed the classified files detailing humanity's secret preparations for this very scenario. For years, they had been building hidden stockpiles, establishing backdoor connections with non-assembly worlds, and developing technologies that pushed far beyond acceptable limits. The next few months would be brutal. There would be hardship, sacrifice, and likely some loss of life despite their best efforts. But humanity had faced extinction before, during the long night when AI nearly wiped them out, during the resource wars that almost destroyed Earth, during First Contact when the Vorkath attempted invasion. Each time, they had emerged stronger. Harrison opened a secure channel to Earth's Security Council. Operation Phoenix is now active, he announced to the grim faces of humanity's leaders. May whatever gods exist have mercy on the assembly. Because we won't. 9 months into humanity's exile, the abandoned mining outpost on Proxima 7 hummed with activity. Deep beneath the planet's frozen surface, Commander Riya Patel supervised as her team installed the latest quantum fold generator. The device, no larger than a briefcase, represented humanity's greatest technological achievement, and their best hope for survival. Power readings are stable, reported Lieutenant Marcus Wong, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. Quantum field integrity at 98%. Riya nodded, her breath forming clouds in the frigid air. Begin the test sequence. Let's see if we can finally break the light-year barrier. The generator's hum deepened, sending vibrations through the reinforced chamber. On the monitoring screens, a microscopic tear in spacetime began to form, expanding into a stable wormhole barely wide enough to pass a supply pod through. Target locked, New Eden colony, Marcus announced. Reading clear tunnel formation, wait. His expression darkened. We've got company. Assembly patrol ship just dropped out of hyperspace in high orbit. Riya cursed under her breath. The Assembly's blockade had grown increasingly aggressive, hunting down any hint of human activity beyond their designated quarantine zones. Can they detect the quantum signature? Negative. Dr. Ishikawa's stealth modifications are holding. But if they do a deep scan of the surface? Shut it down, Riya ordered. We can't risk them finding this facility. As her team powered down the equipment, Riya's neural link buzzed with an incoming priority message. The encrypted data packet contained surveillance footage from their network of hidden sensors throughout assembly space. What she saw made her blood run cold. The assembly wasn't just enforcing isolation, they were systematically dismantling every trace of human influence in the galaxy. Trade routes were being rewritten to bypass former human territories. Historical records were being altered to minimize humanity's contributions. Most disturbing of all, some of their supposed allies were helping to erase humanity's legacy. But the assembly had made a critical mistake. In their eagerness to contain human influence, they had ignored the species they considered beneath their notice, the nomadic traders, the frontier colonists, the technological scavengers. These marginalized groups had long memories of human generosity and fairness. Through these forgotten channels, a shadow economy began to emerge. The quantum fold network grew slowly but steadily, connecting human worlds through microscopic tunnels in spacetime. Essential supplies flowed through these invisible lifelines while information and technology moved in the opposite direction. On New Eden, where millions had once faced starvation, hybrid crops engineered to thrive in hostile environments now filled vast underground gardens. The same quantum technology that powered the Fold network had been miniaturized into medical devices that could heal injuries and cure diseases more effectively than anything the assembly possessed. Riya's neural link chimed again, another message, this time from Ambassador Harrison himself. She opened it to find a single line of text: Project Prometheus is ready. Her heart raced. Prometheus represented the ultimate culmination of human ingenuity, a way to not just survive the Assembly's sanctions, but to fundamentally change the balance of power in the galaxy. It was also incredibly dangerous. If something went wrong. Commander, Marcus called out, interrupting her thoughts. You need to see this. The sensor feeds showed a growing number of non-human ships gathering at the edges of assembly space. Species that had once feared to challenge the established order were beginning to question centuries of rigid control. The Assembly's attempt to isolate humanity had instead demonstrated just how much the galaxy's overlooked populations had come to depend on human innovation and trade. Send word to Harrison, Riya commanded. Tell him the network is ready. It's time to show the Assembly exactly what humanity is capable of when pushed too far. As she watched her team resume work on the quantum fold generator, Riya allowed herself a small smile. The assembly had meant to break humanity's spirit. Instead, they had forced humanity to become something far more dangerous, truly united, ruthlessly innovative, and absolutely determined to reshape the galaxy on their own terms. The research facility beneath Europa's ice sheets buzzed with nervous energy. Dr. Samira Ishikawa stood before the assembled team, her holographic displays showing the final simulations of Project Prometheus. After countless failures and setbacks, they had achieved what many thought impossible: true quantum consciousness integration. The quantum fold network wasn't just about transportation, Samira explained, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. Every wormhole we created left behind quantum-entangled particles. We've built a galaxy-spanning neural network that can process information instantly, unrestricted by light speed. Admiral Torres, attending via secure quantum link, leaned forward. You're saying we can communicate and coordinate across any distance without detection? More than that, Samira replied. We can interface directly with any quantum-capable system, including assembly technology. The implications were staggering. The assembly's technological superiority had always relied on their advanced quantum systems. Now humanity had found a way to turn that advantage against them. On the primary display, a real-time map showed the spread of quantum particles throughout known space. Each tiny point of light represented a potential access point, a way to observe and influence assembly operations without detection. Their oppressors' greatest strength had become their greatest vulnerability. The first test came sooner than expected. An assembly battle fleet, responding to rumors of illegal human activity, moved to attack the colony on New Eden. As the massive ships dropped out of hyperspace, their quantum cores synchronized with the invisible network humanity had created. Through quantum entanglement, Samira's team observed the assembly commanders shock as their weapons refused to fire, their shields failed to activate, and their engines shut down. The entire fleet hung helpless in space, disabled by technology they couldn't even detect. Send the message, ordered Ambassador Harrison, who had been quietly observing. The quantum network carried his words directly into the assembly ship's communication systems. This is humanity's response to your attempted genocide. We could destroy you now, but unlike you, we believe in second chances. The assembly's reaction was predictable: denial, then rage, then desperate attempts to understand how their impregnable defenses had been breached. But they couldn't stop what was already happening. Through the quantum network, humanity began sharing their technological breakthroughs with other species, breaking the assembly's monopoly on advanced knowledge. Medical nanites that could cure any disease. Energy systems that drew power directly from quantum fluctuations. Terraforming techniques that could make any world habitable. Humanity released it all, transforming from exiles to liberators in the eyes of countless oppressed species. But victory came with a price. As Samira reviewed the latest data, she discovered an unexpected side effect of their quantum integration. The network wasn't just transmitting information, it was evolving, developing patterns that resembled consciousness on a galactic scale. We need to be careful, she warned Harrison during an emergency conference. We're not just changing the balance of power. We're creating something entirely new. Something that could either transcend our understanding of intelligence or destroy everything we know. Harrison's hologram nodded gravely. Can we control it? Control? No. But we can guide it, shape its development. The question is, do we have the wisdom to do it right? Before anyone could answer, alarms blared throughout the facility. The quantum network had detected something massive approaching from intergalactic space, something that had been dormant for millions of years, awakening in response to humanity's quantum manipulations. Samira stared at the readings in disbelief. The assembly's persecution had forced humanity to evolve, to innovate beyond their wildest dreams. But in doing so, they may have attracted the attention of something far more ancient and powerful than any of them had imagined. The Galactic Assembly's emergency session erupted into chaos as more systems declared their independence. High Minister Exiled watched helplessly as centuries of control crumbled. On the central display, another cluster of worlds turned from assembly blue to neutral gray, their quantum networks now aligned with human technology. The Andari collective has severed all ties, an aide reported, their tentacles writhing in distress. They're demanding immediate recognition of their sovereignty and reparations for historical exploitation. Ambassador Harrison observed the proceedings through quantum feeds, his holographic presence hidden from assembly sensors. The plan had worked better than anyone anticipated. By sharing their technology freely with oppressed species, humanity had sparked a revolution that transcended mere politics. The quantum network had evolved beyond its creator's expectations, forming connections not just between machines but between minds and cultures. Species that had been isolated for millennia now shared knowledge, art, and dreams instantly across vast distances. The Assembly's carefully maintained barriers of privilege and protocol meant nothing in this new reality. But a greater crisis loomed. Dr. Ishikawa's team had confirmed that the quantum awakening had drawn the attention of the precursors, ancient beings who had seeded the galaxy with the foundations of quantum technology millions of years ago. Their massive worldships approached from the galactic void, their purpose unknown. Admiral Torres coordinated humanity's response from the newly commissioned flagship Prometheus. The vessel represented the pinnacle of human innovation, its systems fully integrated with the quantum network. All colonies are reporting ready status, she announced. The defense grid is active, and our allies are standing by. The Assembly, facing extinction, finally swallowed its pride. We propose an immediate cessation of hostilities, Exiled declared, addressing humanity directly for the first time since the exile. In exchange for your assistance against this new threat, we offer full reinstatement of human rights and privileges. The precursor worldships dwarfed everything humanity had ever encountered. 12 crystalline structures, each larger than Earth's moon, arranged in a perfect geometric pattern at the edge of inhabited space. Through the quantum network, their presence resonated with a power that made even artificial systems tremble. Ambassador Harrison stood on the Prometheus's bridge as the combined fleet held position. The ship's quantum core pulsed in harmony with the ancient vessels, facilitating communication beyond conventional understanding. Besides him, Dr. Ishikawa monitored the unprecedented data flow, her augmented consciousness processing information that would overwhelm unmodified human minds. They're scanning our entire civilization, she reported. Not just our technology, they're examining our choices, our values, our potential. The precursor's judgment came not in words but in direct quantum transmission, flooding the network with visions of possible futures. They showed the galaxy's past, countless civilizations that had discovered quantum technology, only to destroy themselves through war or stagnate in rigid hierarchies like the Assembly. But humanity's path had been different. Instead of hoarding power, they had shared it. Rather than seek revenge, they had offered redemption. The quantum network had evolved not into a weapon of control, but a tool of connection and understanding. They're offering us a choice, Samira announced, interpreting the quantum signals. We can accept their guidance, becoming their students, or we can take full responsibility for the network's future development, along with all its risks and consequences. Harrison didn't hesitate. We choose independence, he declared through the quantum link. Not just for humanity, but for all species. We'll face the challenges together, as equals. The precursor ships responded with a pulse of energy that resonated through the quantum network. Every connected system, from the smallest personal device to the largest planetary installation, underwent an instant transformation. The network's potential expanded exponentially, revealing capabilities that had been locked away for millions of years. They're not just giving us their technology, Samira realized. They're entrusting us with their legacy, their understanding of reality itself. The Assembly representatives, watching through quantum feeds, finally understood the true magnitude of their mistake. Their attempt to suppress humanity had instead catalyzed an evolutionary leap for all galactic civilization. The age of artificial boundaries and hierarchies was over. In the months that followed, the galaxy transformed. The quantum network became the foundation of a new civilization, one where knowledge flowed freely and cooperation replaced competition. Former assembly worlds worked alongside the species they had once oppressed, each contributing their unique perspectives and abilities to the greater whole. Harrison, standing in the rebuilt grand chamber of what was now called the Galactic Concordat, reflected on humanity's journey. From exiles to innovators, from victims to liberators, they had not just survived, they had fulfilled their species' greatest potential, becoming architects of a new era in cosmic history. The precursors' worldships departed as mysteriously as they had arrived, leaving humanity and its allies to forge their own path. But their final message, embedded deep within the quantum network, remained as both promise and warning: the true test lies not in gaining power, but in how you use it. The future is in your hands.